Before this video starts, if you enjoy this video, there are many more like it already on the channel, with many more like it to come in the future, so subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I would really appreciate it. I upload 6 days a week on this channel, so if you're looking for some consistent basketball talk, this is the place for it. Also, drop a like on this video. It only takes 1 second, and it makes a massive difference. Also, real quick, before this video starts, I do want to ask that you go check out the new episode of my podcast called The Rusty and Mojo Show. We had Mark Jang on as the first guest. You may know him as MDJ. As you should probably know, he quit his YouTube channel. We talked about that. We talked about some dating L's. We talked about a few things on top of that, including in the clip that I'm about to show you. Quick warning, this is a long clip, but it's a good one, so I decided to deal with the fact that it's a bit longer than I would like, so here it is.
I mean, this is like the question of like, would I ever sell my channel is kind of like asking, would you ever suck a dick for money? It's like, obviously, if there's enough money, then yes.
Okay,
Dude, I'm
Jesus.
serious. Come on.
That's a metaphor.
Any
That's a
guy,
metaphor.
any straight guy who will try to pretend that there's no amount of money that could get them to suck someone's dick is just lying. They're just lying.
Bro, so like
There's a number
This
for
sounds
everybody.
like a passionate subject for you.
so someone offered you 20 racks, $20,000, put it in your face, and you put on his pants. What you doing with your mouth, Mark? What you doing?
Look, 20 racks for at most 10 minutes of pain is worth it.
You're doing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's a number for everybody. There's a number for everybody.
Is your number big though, Mark?
I'd prefer more, but
Is your number, not saying that I'd offer this number to you, but is this number big?
that is going to be linked in the description. Will be the top link in both the description and the pinned comment, so go give that one a watch. It was easily the best podcast episode that I have ever been a part of, so go give it a watch. But today we are obviously talking about Mo Bamba, and as you can tell from the thumbnail, I really wanted to talk about him because of the weight that he put on in the not really off-season, which we call the NBA being suspended. There wasn't a real off-season, but there were about 5 months of no action, so we've seen a lot of players make some massive transformations to their bodies, like Nikola Jokic, for example, and even James Harden. But Mo Bamba had perhaps the most interesting and maybe even biggest personal body transformation of any of the players in the NBA, and that is because he put on between 20 to 30 pounds of muscle. And the reason that's interesting is because the biggest issue with Mo so far in his career, outside of just his lack of consistency on both ends, has been the fact that he is really, really skinny, so defenses like to bully him in the paint. Like, you can't really put Mo Bamba on Joel Embiid. As long as his arms are as tall as he is, as athletic as he is, he's just so skinny, it does not matter. Joel Embiid can just bully him in the paint. But now that Mo Bamba is basically the size of Joel Embiid, that makes him a pretty damn scary defensive player. Mo Bamba now claims to be around 250 when he was originally around 230 to low 220s, which is obviously a pretty damn big difference. As you can tell from the photo in the thumbnail, he looks swole as shit. So I think this is going to be a big development for him, and I think it's enough reason that the Orlando Magic, on top of the season that he just had, should really just commit to Mo Bamba fully. Like, I'm talking, I believe that they should trade Nikola Vucevic, because I believe that Mo Bamba is so good, or is going to be so good, that it's worth just going ahead and throwing out Vucevic. Because when you look at what he did this year, he made some pretty big strides to his game to make him a much better player. First of all, he was much more consistent and reliable defensively. Of course, being that shot blocker that he's always been, the issue has been a lack of consistency, as I said, and his inability to really handle big men. That issue is going to be resolved by adding on this extra weight. And then on the other end of the court, he was a lot more consistent there as well, being a better three-point shooter. This year, he shot 35.6% from three. He improved his free throw percentage by about 9%, which is pretty big. And he shot 1.7 threes a game in just 14 minutes of action per game. So if you look at that per 36, That is 4 3-pointers per game, and that is a pretty big deal. Also a pretty good rebounder. 5 rebounds in 14 minutes comes out to 12.4 rebounds per 36. 1.4 blocks in 14 minutes comes out to 3.5 blocks per 36. So, Mo Bamba, if he was given real minutes, according to per 36, which is a heavily flawed stat, but I'm just trying to paint a bit of a rough picture for you, can be a double-double big man while also being one of the best rim protectors in the league. And the thing with Bamba is he is also very, very quick on his feet. Like, he is one of the fastest guys at his size in the league and really just throughout history even. Like, he's very fast. He has, I believe, the longest wingspan in the NBA. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. He's basically like if Rudy Gobert was mobile on defense without, the consistency and some of the size. But that's what he has the potential to be. He has the potential to be basically like Bam Adebayo and Rudy Gobert as the same defensive player, which is pretty insane to think about, which means he could be a defensive player of the year level guy and one of the greatest defensive players, period, if that ends up being what comes to fruition. Because if he can have this kind of versatility, still maintain that speed, which I 100% believe he can do, maintain that athleticism, still has the length obviously, while being a 250-pound 7-footer, that is going to be a scary player to go up against on the defensive end. And when I just think about the Magic in general, I'm not going to elaborate too much into it because I'm planning on doing a what's next for the Orlando Magic video pretty soon, probably next Sunday. But this guy paired with Jonathan Isaac is going to be just a ridiculous duo of 2 defensive big men, because I would not want to be the big men that have to go up against that. But then if we can talk about the offensive upside of Mo Bamba and what he could be on that end, well, I don't think he's ever going to be like a 20-point per game scorer or anything close to that. A problem with Bamba's lack of weight has also contributed to his shooting in the paint. He's not really someone that can force up a shot inside. He shoots around 72% at the basket, which, don't get me wrong, that's very good. The issue is he really can only take wide open shots around the basket. Like, if you watch Bamba play, it's not very common to see him just like forcing his way to the rim, throwing up a hook shot, bullying a big man out of the way, and then putting up a layup. Like, he really needs to be set up to get a fairly open shot in order for him to finish. He's not someone who can bully anybody, but now that he is 250 pounds, I'm not saying he's going to be able to bully like Joel Embiid in the paint, but once he has a guard on him or even a wing, he should be able to create his own shot in the post just because of how strong he is. He should be able to finish a lot better than he is because of how strong he is. Because I'll tell you this from personal experience from a few years ago, it is really damn hard to finish a layup when you're skinny. Believe it or not, I used to be skinny, and now that I am much bigger than I used to be, it's a lot easier for me to finish because it's a lot easier to absorb contact and a lot easier for that contact to not really alter your shot whatsoever, which is what absorbing contact is, but you know what I mean. So being bigger is definitely going to make it easier for him to finish. And then another thing that I really care about with Bamba on that offensive end is the potential of that 3-point jumper. 35.6% on 1.7 attempts and 14.5 minutes a game is pretty damn good for a center, and I believe he can be even better than that down the line, because again, that is a 3-point attempt rate of over 40%, to where he's going to be taking 4 threes a game if he's playing starters minutes. I believe he could even get up to like 5 or 6 if he really took a step in that direction. But a guy like this, who is going to be the most versatile defensive center possibly ever, and certainly has the potential to be that. I shouldn't say that he will be, because this is all about potential here, but that potential on the defensive end, and then on the offensive end, he is going to be able to stretch out the floor and finish his shots in the paint and be a good rebounder. Damn, that is something to keep an eye on, because this is a guy who is only 21 years old, and when he was drafted, people knew he would be a project. Why people dismissed him, playing 16 minutes a game in his rookie year in Orlando, backing up an all-star center, I do not know, because I fully believe that Mo Bamba is going to be a pretty damn good NBA player. Now, I don't know that he's ever going to be an all-star. I figure he'll be more like a Rudy Gobert defensive type of guy, and then more like Miles Turner on offense. And even though Rudy Gobert made an all-star team, I don't know if that's quite enough to at least be a consistent all-star, even though maybe it should be. It's just because defense is not valued like it should be. but he's definitely going to be a behemoth defensively. And then on the offensive end, it's going to be more common for centers to be shooting threes as well, but Mo being one step ahead of the curve is definitely, or is it curve? I don't know. Being one step ahead is going to improve his value quite greatly, because I believe centers that can shoot threes are really going to be even more necessary than they are now. Like, at a certain point in a couple of years, like, not being able to shoot the three ball is going to be basically unacceptable, unless you're just like a ridiculous level of talent like someone like Ben Simmons. So it's definitely going to help out Bamba that he is a center that can shoot the three ball. So ridiculous defensive potential. Offensively, has the potential to stretch out the floor and also finish his shots, grab rebounds, all of that. Mo Bamba has a whole lot of potential, and I look forward to seeing what he can become. I fully believe he can be a damn good NBA player. The Magic just need to trade Vucevic because he's old, and it's not like this team's going anywhere long-term without making these adjustments. So just make them now instead of just sitting on it. So that's the underrated potential of Mo Bamba. That is the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.